Hi, I'm Melinda Matturro here on the next episode of The Professors, here with Professor Jack Breslin. Thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure.
So glad you can make it. So let's start off with something simple, like introduce yourself. How did you get in this chair today?
I am currently in my 14th year here at Iona College and have really enjoyed the experience. Very glad that I picked Iona way back when. It's kind of ironic that I did because I covered Iona in basketball in a former life and drove by Murphy Center, little knowing that I'd have an office someday and be enjoying a great career here.
All right, so as far as your career goes, was there anything that happened to you specifically that kind of changed your outlook on your whole career?
Yeah, getting fired.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, I don't hold myself up as a role model because my career, my life has been very unusual. You know, for 9 years I studied to be a Roman Catholic priest. And I decided to take some time off. And in doing that, I explored the world. I went to Europe, I went to Central America, I went to the United States, and I got into freelance writing. And someone said, you got to get your master's degree. Well, if I ever find that guy, that was a wonderful experience. I went to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale and also the University of Georgia. And I had the opportunity to work at my hometown newspaper, upstate in Kingston. And I became part of the Fox pioneers. We launched what is today the Fourth Network. And I wrote a book about America's Most Wanted. So those were times where definitely changed my career.
Yeah, about your career at America's Most Wanted, how was that working with, I know you worked with John Walsh, and how was that, and did Fox being the Fourth Network affect that in any way?
Well, I knew John from being the publicist on the television movie Adam, which was about the murder and kidnapping of his son. So we had a good working relationship to begin with. But America's Wanted was different because we were catching bad guys. And we're helping victims of crime. And having Walsh as our host kept reminding us of that. And even though that didn't turn out so well in the end, you know, I got laid off, it was a great foundation for what I'm doing today. Because that's how I got interested in crime victims, which is one of my focuses of my research. You know, I've been able to expand something I did during my professional career as a professor.
Yeah. So would you say that's kind of what sparked your interest in the world of media ethics, the working
Well,
with
ethics
crime?
was kind of a surprise. And as I got into my doctoral studies, I saw that media ethics and media law complemented each other very well. And so I've gone back to a lot of the things that I read or should have read as an undergraduate. In the professional field, the word ethics was never mentioned. I realized there was a need to help train young journalists, young PR people, advertisers, broadcasts in the fundamentals of ethics to try to instill a sense of ethics in our students.
And you probably know about the whole Ray Rice situation with the assault on his wife and everything, and I just wanted to see how you saw how the media is kind of handling that whole situation.
You know, what is the penalty? Well, some people said, oh, banishment is too harsh. Well, is he being made a scapegoat? Is he being made an example of? And as far as the appeal, you know, if you say you're out and then turn around and say, well, we really didn't mean it, what does that say for the next person who comes up?
Yeah, exactly. Do you think the reaction from viewers that are watching it on the news, or do you think they play an important role in the decisions that the NFL makes? And
the NFL is probably one of the most PR conscious leagues around. They're very conscious of their image, and so that's why when this crisis exploded, they were able to respond quickly and effectively. What the long-term effects on it are hard to say, but events come, news comes, and it goes. And people are able to redeem their image miraculously within a relatively short period of time.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I really treat my job as a very special job. And, you know, I failed miserably, but I wouldn't call myself a failure because I'm working my way back up.
Also, have you noticed a huge shift in the way the media law and ethics works over the years that you've been involved in that kind of career path?
it's challenging because a lot of times students don't want to think. They don't want to be challenged. It's like, what do I got to know for the exam? And to ask them to look into their own identities is sometimes very challenging and even disturbing for some students.
So last but not least, do you have any advice for the upcoming journalists that you've been teaching?
What I try to instill on them, and I hope they take from the classroom, is that what we talk about here in the classroom, that's the ideal. And a lot of times students will give me the answer that they think I'm looking for. You know, oh, Breslin said to be a priest, and this is a Catholic school, so I got to give the Catholic answer. No, it's what you think. And challenging them to think about just what is your ethical identity? What do you stand for? And when they get out in the real world, have the courage and the commitment to stand up and say, no, I don't think that. And I had to do that once at Most Wanted. And it was very, well, debilitating to do that. But later it paid off. That, you know, the journalist who was told something by someone else, he said, I know you didn't do it. And he gave me a nice recommendation for a job, which I didn't get. But if I had gotten that job, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good way to look at it. Well, that does it for this episode of The Professors. I'm Melinda Matturro. Thank you so much for being here today, Professor Breslin.
My pleasure.
See you next time.